Okay, anybody wanna check it on their phone, see if? It should be, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I see us live, let me see here. A little bit of delay, isn't there?
Yeah, there's gonna be a delay.
Wow, that's a pretty good delay. That's like 5 or 10 second delay.
Just so you can go beep beep.
Yeah, is anybody, I don't know about volume here, let me,
Steve Jarvis says it's good.
okay. Okay, then we'll get going. We'll call the Town of Alexandria special board meeting to order on Wednesday, June 17th at 5 p.m. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think everybody's gotten lots of copies of minutes in the last week or 10 days, and Jesse is caught up on all of them, and I think the board is caught up on all of them. There's been a bunch of edits that have been sent in to Jesse. She's changed those and sent them back, and people have looked at them and they've approved those. So I'm going to tell you the dates of these minutes, and then we're going to need a motion. And there's quite a few of these minutes, but we're going to put them all in the original single motion. And these minutes that are completed that have been sent to everybody are February 19th, March 5th, March 18th, March 25th, April 22nd, May 26th, April 8th, and May 6th. And the most recent one is June 10th, and I'm not sure if everybody's had a chance to look at those.
I know Sandy has, other than that, I'm not positive. We can pass those on the 29th.
Do we want to include June 10th, or does it, you want me to hold that out?
Look at that one.
What's that?
I'd rather wait on June 10th.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna just do the ones I just talked about, right, Jesse? February 19th, March 5th, March 18th, March 25th, April 8th, April 22nd, May 6th, and May 26th. I said them in a different order this time because I'm trying to put them in chronological order. So I need a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Motion by Sandy to approve those minutes. I need a second. Second by Mike Fayette. Any discussion on those minutes that we're talking about?
I do. Are there normally minutes? There was a budget meeting in there, because there should have been 2 dates back to back. We had a budget meeting. On those special meetings, do they have minutes? Because there wasn't 2 dates there back to back.
Not unless something was motioned. So if you just had a workshop.
It was a working.
If it was just a workshop and you didn't have a motion.
Take any action.
Or take any action, then no.
Okay, because there was no action, we did the action the next
That was the
time.
workshop that we worked on our budget in
Yeah.
relation to COVID-19.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my only question.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Motion passed. Privilege of the floor. I don't have anybody contacting me. Has anybody got anybody contacting them? I put it on the website in the advertisement that they can access us through the 2 phone numbers that we've used all along, or any other way. And if we start the meeting and somebody sees something that they want to ask or whatever, I don't have a problem with answering them, you know, while we're doing our 2 items on the agenda or after we're done. Okay, so we'll go to item number 1. This is discussion and action on hiring part-time seasonal labor. I think we've all talked about this a little bit. This is to help Byron at the dump, whether more becomes of this person and that job or a job. We're not saying that right now, but the primary thing is Byron needs help at the dump 2 days a week.
Now, this person's gonna be full-time.
No,
Is it
this
just
motion is to hire a part-time seasonal
So
labor.
when you say part-time, how many hours a week?
I believe according to our bylaws, part-time is less than 30 hours, right,
I was
Jesse?
gonna say.
Okay, I'm just just wondering about that. The other thing too, Byron definitely needs some of the relief there, enable him to take time off, like he's accrued a fantastic amount of time off.
Yep.
I also would like, this person, if it'd be at all possible.
To do what?
This person, to spend some time with Jay and Jamie, to kind of be able to, eventually those two guys are gonna
Yep.
leave us, and it'd be good if we could kind of groom somebody to replace at least one of them.
I mean, the part-time part of this, item number one has the 30 hour or
Right,
less.
That's why I was
And it
asking.
may be less than 30 hour, not 30 included, attached to it. I've gone through, Nicole and I have gone through the receipts at the dump, and we're tracking now the number of transactions that he has, which means that's the number of customers that he has, rather than the dollar amounts. And Saturdays and Sundays are his high transaction days, as everybody would think. Friday is up there, but it's not. On the average, it's Saturday and Sunday. So that's what we're looking at, is somebody for 8 hours Saturday and 8 hours Sunday.
Monday not a spike on Monday? There's not a spike on action on Mondays up there?
No.
I think after the weekend.
There's more of a spike on Friday. Friday's the third busiest day there of the 5 days a week that we're open. Yeah.
How's this,
And it's tied a little bit to the weather.
financially, what's the impact?
Of hiring this person?
Yeah, what are we proposing finance-wise?
Well, I guess part of our discussion is who are we talking about hiring? I think we're gonna talk about hiring somebody that's worked for us, has worked for us and has been laid off, are my thoughts. And there's obviously the different pay rates that go with the different people that have been laid off. I mean, we just have two people that are DPW that they both have worked at the dump part-time. That is the two that I'm talking about. And one of them is a newer employee that's at $15 an hour, and the other one's at, I wanna say $19.36 an hour.
Well, the reason why I mention that is we're all more than a little bit aware, sales tax money-wise, revenues, anticipated revenues for our budget are not gonna match what we proposed or we thought was gonna happen.
Well, it's not only that, but Ronnie has been doing a bunch of digging and talking to the county treasurer, and I've been talking to the county treasurer. And in our budget meeting, we reforecasted our own estimate of the sales tax, and we cut 25%.
Right.
Well, right now, it looks like that number is between 30 and 35. And the big numbers and most important dates will be coming in June 20th, the sales tax is filed, and we're hoping that within a couple of days of June 20th, that we can know what the numbers are at. But the numbers I'm telling you, down 30 to 32%, are April and May, right, Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, April and May. So,
Yeah,
I think that,
Just throwing that out because it's a consideration, I mean.
I think as soon as we have the June 20th numbers, which will be the sales tax for the second quarter of 2020, I think we're gonna wanna meet.
Right.
And we're gonna wanna discuss our next
Right.
steps of what we're gonna do.
Because we can always revisit this.
Okay, but I'm just putting it out, as part of the record,
Yep.
that we're discussing at least,
Yeah. Anybody else have any comments on as far as the sales tax numbers and us revisiting this and what anybody's thoughts are, or what we can do or what we can't do? Any thoughts on that?
No, just, the discussion is that whoever is going to be helping a lot at the dump. Has the dump revenues gone up enough with our increased prices where that gap of, the amount we had lost or were in arrears is catching up, because now we're talking about adding payroll to a section that,
Yeah, let me say that last year, and Jesse, you can help me with this, but last year we had a person at the dump on weekends.
Correct.
And we switched back and forth between Gannon and Trevor. I believe it was mostly Gannon.
Yeah.
So our payroll last year,
Two people.
yep,
Yeah.
our payroll last year for the summer months, which I believe started Memorial Day weekend and went through Labor Day, until Gannon was let go, which I forget when that was. But our payroll last year at the dump had 2 people 2 days a week. So we're planning on doing the same if we take that action tonight, and it actually is probably for a little bit less time because we started earlier last year.
So we should be under budget, actually.
Okay, good.
And then the second part to the answer to your question is the change in the fees that we're charging at the dump looks like it's gonna help extremely make up the difference that we have of the loss at the dump. I'm gonna say it's gonna pick up 80% of it, the loss, let's say. The way, and we've got, since we did this, when did we do this, in March? Or April?
February,
Probably
March.
more like eight.
Yeah.
So that's the numbers we're going by of how much comparing our revenues this year to last year, so.
Well, they are up. I mean, when you're talking, looking at them, it seems as though that before you were bringing in around $430.
Yep.
For the most on average on a weekend, and now you're bringing in almost $600 to $800.
So I know that I looked at April and May, and we were up about between $4,000 and $4,500 each month. So if that average continues at 4,000, that's 48,000, our goal was 60. So like I said, I think we're picking up 80% of it or whatever. And who knows how that percent's gonna go through the summer. And obviously things are loosening up and there's more people around.
Mm-hmm. And you have to also look at, Gannon also was a full-time employee, not a part-time seasonal.
Yep.
So when
He
you
had
add
more
benefits
expenses,
and
yeah.
everything into that, that also is a contributing
That's a good point.
factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, any other questions? With that said, I'd like to entertain a motion to hire whoever everybody decides or wants to bring back for a part-time seasonal labor.
I would like to bring back Ben Cole. I would like to nominate his name, if that's what you're asking.
Is that's your motion?
Yep.
Yep. Motion by Mike to bring back Ben Cole. Need a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Second by Ronnie. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Okay, so that's
How
the
soon will he start?
Saturday.
This weekend?
And he is available, right?
Yeah.
You've spoken to my help.
Yeah, I've talked to everybody. Everybody's available, just to be clear on that.
Okay.
So, okay. The second item on our agenda is discussion of the 5 IMAs for our 5 water districts. I've sent everybody these IMAs. We've looked at these. We've had these in our possession since December 20th. And we realize that there's some work that needs to be done on them, but we don't want to hold up the village and we don't want to hold up progress here. One of the things that we have foiled information from the village in relation to the rate structure and the formulas for the rates. That's still work in progress for both us and the village, producing that information. The village has produced a bunch of it, and I think we just got a letter from their lawyer that said they had some more stuff that they were gonna be producing to fulfill the FOIL request. I think I've emailed everybody that the information for the FOIL request is available at the village office. All they ask is us contact them when we're coming, and they will provide the documentation that we need, or that we're asking for. Each one of these IMAs has the billing addendum attached to it. That's the way these IMAs were designed, and that's the reason that the FOIL request is tied to these IMAs, and that We've been since December 20th because we've been talking about the formulas and trying to understand them and trying to figure out what needs to be done. So, like I said, there's 5 IMAs for 5 different water districts that have the billing addendum that is the same. Each water district is treated differently, or 3 of them are treated differently as far as, what is it, storage, transmission, and distribution. So, this is in the interest of, letting the village move forward with what they're doing. And something that is important for us with this is that when we make these approvals, if we decide to approve these IMAs, that we want it to be understood, and part of our motion will be that we have the right to amend these IMAs after we completely feel that we've gone through the FOIL process and that our questions are answered and where we want to go. Mike, you might have something to add to that?
That's basically, I've gone through their stuff and I've recreated, like I mentioned earlier, this is a spreadsheet they gave us with all this kind of, and I actually recreated this spreadsheet and their formulas and their rationale, the storage, distribution, and treatment for all the water districts, including their own and Orleans. And I can recreate all their numbers that they come up in here. Like I mentioned earlier, all their numbers, how they come up with that, predicated on their budget numbers, which we don't have. We really can't. We don't. This is one of the things we requested is what these top numbers are.
One of the things I've got to say is that their numbers that are in that sheet come from their budget numbers.
Right.
2 years ago, when we were going through and creating this formula, we had questions about their budget numbers. I think you were there.
Yep.
And we asked them to provide documentation backing up their budget numbers, of which they did. That was about the particular questions that we had on particular items in there. I'm not saying it was about everything, but they provided us with their budget for that year, and they provided us with their budget for the current year, and showed us where their budget numbers came from.
And the IMAs expressly talk about when they get their preliminary budget, it'll be shared with the town, because the preliminary budget will be setting the water rates.
Yep.
But that being said, I don't know how these numbers match up with that, when we got to that point. The other interesting aspect of this is the numbers over here are how much water each district on an annual basis used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how much water, all that kind of stuff. We get a bill from them every quarter for every one of their districts. And so I can, and I did, I have for the last 2.5 years, or maybe 3, how much water we bought for each on behalf of these districts, and I can't recreate any of these numbers. And these are the bills we have received from them. So what I did is I took, like I said, I had all the formulas in here. So what I did is interestingly enough, like I mentioned in the last meeting, 3 districts, we ended up having exactly the same number.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is, this is for 2018, 2019, so up here. So what I did is I took the bills from 2018 and the bills for 2019, and I averaged them. 2 years, add them up for each district. And I took those numbers and put them in here. Guess what? All these are different. Every number is different. Like my argument before is, how is it possible for them to get 3 exactly the same to the penny?
They should be exactly the same if they are based on, there's Brent mentioned, storage, distribution, and treatment. And the 3 that have the exact same rate are subject to all 3 of those. The ones that have different rates are not subject to all 3, and that's what skews it. Okay,
what I just got done saying is I took this and I recreated all the formulas they needed to generate these numbers like that you just got done describing. Mm-hmm. And it's all predicated on, we accept these numbers and we accept these numbers. And I just told you that I took the 2018 and 2019, the numbers for the actual bills we received from the Village of Alexandria Bay, and I averaged them together, and I put those numbers in this, right over here,
Okay,
using exactly the same formulas, and got different numbers.
okay. Well,
So,
I think what we're gonna have,
Yeah.
one of the things we're gonna have to do, Mike, is that when we do master meter readings coming up in a couple weeks, I think we're gonna have to be with the village
We
and
do.
do the master meter readings at the same time. And be with the village when they compute our bill, when they figure our bill, because the one district that we have the problem in is, it's really two districts, it's Otter Street and Route 12.
Yes.
And it's 11 accounts that are on the wrong master meter, that we have to add those figures up and subtract them from that other master meter. And that's one of the places that we're not jiving with their numbers correctly.
There could be something in there.
To try to simplify it, we have the IMAs, okay, which talk about the billing, okay, and then we have the actual bills. It would seem like the IMAs, the concepts that they're using to generate the bills, we don't have a problem with.
I didn't,
How the bill is actually generated, and I look at that as being a separate issue. And so like the IMAs is the structure, and then the actual detail, it looks like we have questions on. So I understand what you're saying there, and I think that should be looked at, but I don't see that as holding up approval of the IMAs
well, I'm
themselves.
not proposing to hold them up at all. Brad just asked
Right,
for a little more,
Yeah.
that's all, I'm just
Yeah.
providing a little more
And-
information, that's all. I'm
and
not
Steve Jarvis-
holding anything up.
Steve Jarvis just texted me and said that we should be reading these together. Well, I think we are, or we
They are,
talked about
yeah.
that very recently, and we're gonna make sure we read these
No,
together.
they
same-
never should be
But
read unless. they're
that's not
together.
where the problem
No,
is in the reading.
This is in the calculation.
It's in the computing and
Right.
the arithmetic
Right.
that goes on afterwards to take that master meter reading and to put it to the bill, because we have two water districts that numbers get added and numbers get subtracted.
Right.
And that's what we have to know, every one of those numbers that gets added and every one that gets subtracted, and have to understand it and approve it to what we believe way it should be.
Right, but that has nothing to do with the IMA.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, I'm not saying it, I'm just, Brad asked for more information, I'm providing.
So I know Steve's listening to us, I just wanna.
Steve is right, for at least the last 2 years, if not longer, Jamie and whoever the water guy is, read the meters together.
Right.
Yeah, and not only do they read the meters together, but our water guy,
I think takes a picture.
Jamie, takes a picture of every master meter reading at that time. So, because we've gone through this and put these numbers into Mike's computer, because he's got a program that he's set up that computes this, right? And we go through the actual papers that Jamie gives us that have the photos on them of the master meter reading. So,
So do we need one motion for all five, or are we gonna do them individually?
I'd say we should probably do them individually, shouldn't we, Jesse? Since they're IMAs and they're separate water districts, just to,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna ask.
We can have more discussion
We're gonna
anyway.
ask for the ability to amend them.
Yes,
as a result
each one of the motions should have the ability to amend them and not be stuck to the date or the time period that's in the IMA, that is sometimes 1 year and sometimes 3 years. In other words, if we get this all figured out and we are in agreement with the village in 3 months from now, after we've worked on this, then we can amend it in 3 months from now if the village agrees and the town agrees. Okay? So I need a motion, and we'll start with the, Route 12 Water District.
Make a motion to approve the IMA, or to authorize the supervisor to sign the IMA, whatever language is necessary.
Yep. Motion by Ron to, authorize me to sign the IMA, with the village for the Route 12 Water District. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Second, Sandy. Any further discussion? We'd like to make sure that Ronnie's motion, as we just said, all these motions will have the clause in there that we have the right to amend these IMAs
Okay. I already have it written down.
before the term of the IMA,
Okay.
okay? Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. That's the Route 12. The next one will be the Otter Street Water
I
District.
believe so.
I need a motion
Not
to authorize me to sign the Otter Street Water District IMA with the village, with the ability to amend it at any time.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by John Stein, second. Second by Ron. Any further discussion? This also has the amendment attached to it, the ability to.
All of them will have the amendment.
Yep.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none. Next one is the Redwood Water District. We need a motion.
I thought we just did Redwood.
What's that?
I've just got the list of the IMAs, the way they were, like, one was Route 12, 2 was Redwood, 3 was Otter Street, 4 was Edgewood,
Okay, I'm bouncing around then.
5 was Carnegie Bay.
I did Otter Street and Route 12 together just because
Okay,
they were the two that we were questioning. Okay, so the third one I was gonna say is the Redwood Water District, and I need a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the IMA with the village, with the ability to amend the IMA at any date. Motion by Ron, second by Sandy. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Are you not aye?
I said aye.
You're aye, so you're gonna
I
be
said aye all the
aye.
time.
I just wanna double check so Jesse's got the stuff right. Next one would be Edgewood. I need a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the Edgewood Water District IMA with the village of Alexandria Bay, with the ability to amend at any date.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sandy, second
Second.
by John. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. And the last one, I believe, is Carnegie Bay, and I need a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the IMA with the village between Carnegie Bay Water District and the town of Alexandria with the ability to amend that IMA at any time. Motion by Ron, second by John. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. All 5 IMAs have been approved, and I don't have anything else for this meeting. This is a special meeting. We can only deal with the 2 items that we advertised. So I think we're done. Just got a thank you from Steve Jarvis, and I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Sandy to adjourn, need a second by Ronnie. Any discussion on adjourning? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none.
Bert, I'll remind you tomorrow, would you send me the IMAs, but I'll remind you tomorrow, cause that's one of the things
I
I didn't
could give you this right here.